People often ask me, can I buy a rental property with a VA home loan? Now, I know there's a lot of people wanting to buy property, and the real downside is you cannot directly buy a rental property on the VA home loan. There are ways around it. In this video, I'm going to show you some legal ways around it. Now, you got to be very careful because there are a lot of rules about this. And, if you don't do it right, the loan can get called due and payable and be considered loan fraud. So definitely stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly how to legally get an investment property with a VA home loan that actually meets guidelines, because we actually want to do things legal here, right? So first, bad news, VA home loan is designed for your primary residence only. Now, there are some ways around it. The first one is very common. It's called house hacking. Now, if you've never heard of house hacking or heard that phrase before, it's where you buy a multi-unit property and rent out the other units. And so the VA home loan actually allows you to buy up to 4 units, and it's still zero down. Now, I'll give you a quick example of this. I know somebody in Florida that I worked with a couple years ago. He's 100% disabled, making about $4,000 a month on disability, no other income. And he actually bought a fourplex, a $1 million fourplex in Miami. And you might be wondering, oh my gosh, that's insane. His payment was actually more than his income. Here's the crazy thing was he was able to use that rental income from those other units and actually get into that home. Now, you might wonder how the heck do you have the money for closing costs and all that? It's because he sold his old house. He had 100-something thousand in equity. And so he was able to do that. And so that's just one example. It's an extreme example, but it definitely can work out for you. So like I said, rental income actually can be used to qualify. So in this particular case, he was getting $2,000 a month on the rents. Now, he didn't own the house yet, but he had leases showing that the old landlord was collecting $2,000 a month for the other 3 units. So the $6,000 a month that could be used for qualifying. And so with that, there's enough cash flow there to make it work. There are some other things to know as well. And the first one is you will need to have some rental experience or get a property manager. And so in this particular case, the gentleman, he's an experienced investor, so there was no problem there. But if it's his first time, they will require you to have a property manager. Now, property managers aren't that expensive. It's usually a percentage of the rent, but you have to factor that into your costs. Oftentimes, your realtor, there either are property managers or they can recommend a property manager. Definitely, that's your first step in figuring out who that property manager is going to be. And you need to figure that out in your cash flow anyway, exactly how that's going to work with the property manager. And I've heard a lot of people